In the heart of the Roman Empire, under a sun that burned bright over terracotta roofs, there lived a potter named Lucius. Every morning he would walk through the narrow, dusty streets of the town, carrying baskets of his clay pots, hoping to sell them in the crowded marketplace. Lucius had rough hands, cracked from years of working with clay, and his tunic was patched and faded from countless washes. Yet there was a quiet pride in the way he arranged his pots, each one a small piece of his soul, formed on the wheel late at night by the flicker of an oil lamp. Lucius had a kiln, an old, tired kiln. It was made of clay bricks, patched so many times that it looked like an ancient mosaic of repairs. Whenever he fired it, the smoke would leak from cracks, filling the yard with the scent of burning pine and clay. The heat inside was uneven, and many of his pots cracked during the firing. He would look at the ruined pieces, their fractures like veins of defeat, and feel a dull pain in his chest. Every broken pot was a lost coin, a meal he could not buy, a debt he could not pay. One morning, while delivering pots to a local baker, Lucius noticed something that would change him forever. The baker, a plump man named Gaius, was standing proudly next to a brand new stone oven, its surface smooth, the edges sharp, the color a deep gray that spoke of strength. The oven roared with even flames, and the bread came out golden and perfect, the scent carrying down the street and pulling customers in like a promise. Lucius watched as customers lined up, coins in hand, praising Gaius for his fine bread. He saw the smile on Gaius's face, the confidence in his eyes, and a spark ignited within him. "I need a new kiln," Lucius whispered to himself that day. But a new kiln was expensive, far beyond what Lucius could afford with the few coins that jingled in his leather pouch each evening. The price of the kiln was like a mountain, while Lucius felt like a pebble. That night, he sat by the old kiln as it cooled, watching the last wisps of smoke curl into the starry sky. The moonlight touched the cracks of the kiln, and for the first time, Lucius allowed himself to imagine a future where his pots came out perfect, where customers came to him, where he no longer feared the fire. The next morning, Lucius made a decision that frightened him. He would start saving. He took a small empty clay jar and placed it behind the old kiln, hidden under a loose brick. Each day, when he returned from the market, no matter how little he earned, he would take a single silver coin, a denarius, and drop it into the jar. The first few weeks were hard. Lucius loved a small cup of wine in the evenings, a sweet treat of figs, or a piece of cheese. Saying no to these small joys felt like saying no to himself. His friends would call him to join them at the tavern, to celebrate the small victories of the day, to forget the tiredness of work. Lucius would smile and decline, feeling the sting of loneliness as he walked back to his workshop. Some nights he doubted himself, wondering if it would truly matter in the end. But then he would remember the perfect bread of Gaius, the way customers smiled, the way Gaius stood tall with pride. Lucius wanted that feeling, not just for a moment, but for his life. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Each coin that dropped into the jar was like a seed planted in the dry soil of his hopes. The jar began to fill, and Lucius could hear the comforting sound of coins clinking together whenever he moved it to clean the area. He found new ways to save. He repaired his tunic, learned to bake his own bread, bartered pots for flour and oil. Slowly he realized he was not depriving himself, but buying freedom, one coin at a time. A year passed and the jar was full. Lucius counted the coins under dawn light, hands trembling, each coin a memory of sacrifice, a small victory, and he realized he had enough. When the workers arrived with the new kiln, Lucius watched them set the stones layer by layer, the kiln rising like a monument to his patience and discipline. The first time he fired it, the flames roared steady and even, embracing the pots with perfect warmth. When he opened it, the pots stood uncracked, smooth, rich in color. Customers noticed, coming one by one, praising his work. Lucius earned more, but more importantly, he felt pride knowing his pots were perfect because he had chosen to change his life. One evening, sitting by the warm glow of his new kiln, Lucius realized he had learned something greater than pottery. Wealth is not found in what you earn, but in what you keep and how you use it to build the life you want. Saving was not about deprivation, but intention, aligning daily choices with the person he wanted to become. The potter who once feared the cracks in his kiln and in his life now found himself strong, centered, and hopeful, mastering not only clay but the quiet art of managing his money and investing in his dreams. Under the Roman sky, with the kiln fire burning steadily, Lucius smiled, knowing the small choices he made each day had led him to a life of stability, growth, and quiet abundance. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel. Here we share simple ideas about how to live well and build wealth step by step. Thank you for watching.